Hey gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. Today I want to talk about this weed right here. This is called common mallow or Malva neglecta. So mostly I don't worry about this particular weed when it's in my lawn because it stays green whether I water it or not. I do need to mow it, but in this case, since I just seeded with my clover and the clover looks fantastic and I'm so excited to finally have clover growing, this, I feel like it's out competing. So I did start pulling this up and I thought it's high time for me to update my video on this plant. First, a little bit of how to identify this particular weed. Malva neglecta is a species of plant of the family Malvaceae, native to Eurasia and North Africa. It can be an annual, a winter annual, or a biennial plant. The plant has stems that spread from a deep taproot, and the branches reach from a few inches to almost 2 feet long. Leaves are alternate on the stems and have long, slender petioles. The leaves are nearly circular in outline with a deeply notched base and 5 to 7 rounded lobes. They are palmately veined, with the veins originating at the petiole and radiating outward. Palmately literally means palm-shaped. So if my arm and hand were a leaf, my arm is the stem or the petiole. The veins and the leaf radiate outward from a single point. Here's what the seedlings and the first seed leaves, also called cotyledons, look like, as well as the first true leaf. The flowers are borne either singly or in clusters in the leaf axils. Each blossom has 5 white or pinkish petals with notched tips. The petals are about twice the length of the sepals, the green leaf-like structures which enclose the bud. So if you look really close at the flowers, you might notice that they look a lot like some other flowers you'll recognize. Hollyhocks, hibiscus, other things like that. Those are all in the Malvaceae family. Plant families are often grouped together because of their flowers. When evolution's happening, a lot of changes will happen along the way and things will branch off and whatever, but the similar flowers often happen because they have a common ancestor, which is why we put them in the same family. Seeds are borne in smooth, round, flattened, button-like fruits, which break into single-seeded segments at maturity. The fruits are called schizocarps, which split into 10 to 12 mericarps, or nutlets, and are smooth and hairy. So now let's talk about how to remove this thing. It has a deep taproot. Pretty much my rule of thumb is once it's fully mature, as wide as the plant is, that's how deep you can expect the taproot to be. So the taproot really can be a nightmare to get out, especially in a lawn situation. In the garden, it's not too bad because you just put your shovel in the dirt and pop it out. You do need to get the whole root, otherwise any of it that's left will likely regrow and start a new plant, which is harder to remove later because the little bit then has a weak point that often breaks off again. So it's good to get the whole thing the first time. The easiest thing I've found to use to get this out is a shovel, either medium or full size. This one I find is easier to manipulate and move around to get exactly what I want. A full-size shovel can be kind of cumbersome for a weed this small. So how to get this out of your lawn or a flower bed is to find the center, put your shovel a few inches away, and make sure the blade of the shovel is straight down. That means the handle of the shovel is going to be going forward a little bit. Do not put the handle straight or you're going to cut the root off and make your problem worse later. Okay, this is the same with all tap roots and all shovels. The handles are always at a different angle than the head of the shovel is. So you put the working part of the shovel straight down. Pull it back, and you'll hear and feel it pop. Gently pull it as you continue to work the shovel back and forth, which loosens up the soil, and you will almost every time get the whole root. You can also use a dandelion popper. They're really good for the smaller ones. You can see the base of the plant right here. Take your dandelion popper and go straight in the ground. Pull it back. There, until it loosens up. The trick with these is you have to get the popper part right around the root to kind of bring them up like this out of the ground. It loosens the soil, which makes it easier to pull, but this is the goal. And if the root twists like this one kind of did, and you're right next to it, it's a lot harder to get the whole root. So this can be a little bit tedious, and it's easier to miss the roots, but it's very useful in thicker, heavier soils that are often hard to get a shovel into the ground. Yeah, another one. Put the shovel a few inches away, straight up. This part is straight, not the handle. By staying a few inches away, that means the shovel itself will not cut off the root. It loosens the soil just enough to pull the root out. There we go. So I got a couple more and then I'm ready to mow finally. It'll be my first time mowing this lawn in over a month. And then I'll give it a good deep water, and then I won't need to mow it or water it again for probably another month. I am loving this clover lawn. If you'd like more information on a clover lawn, I'll link it right up here to a video I just finished on seeding and growing this lawn with clover and yarrow. Now, if you didn't want to hand pop every single one of the weeds in your garden, you could use a selective herbicide like Weed and Feed or something like that. But as I have children and pets in my backyard, and I just really am not interested in adding more chemicals to the environment, I'm not going to use that method. So I will painstakingly hand pop every weed out of my lawn that I don't want growing in my lawn. If you liked this video and you learned something new, make sure to tell me by hitting the like button. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment down below. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe so you get more gardening content like this in your video feed every week. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the garden.